You want respect, not fake respect, not the kind that disappears when you leave the room. I'm talking about real respect, the kind that makes people stop, listen, and take you seriously. But here's the truth. Respect is not given. It's earned moment by moment, word by word, action by action. So what's the secret? What's the thing you can do right now that makes people respect you instantly? It's how you carry yourself when no one else does. Let me explain. When you walk into a room, people don't just see you, they read you. They read your posture, your eyes, your tone, your energy. If you walk in uncertain, apologetic, shrinking, they feel it. But if you walk in calm, grounded, steady, not loud, not arrogant, but anchored, they feel that too. Respect isn't about dominating a room. It's about commanding your space. And you command space not by force, but by presence. So do this when you speak. Slow down. People who rush sound like they're chasing approval. People who pause sound like they already have it. When someone challenges you, don't react, respond. The moment you get defensive, you lose power. But when you stay composed, when you breathe, think, and answer with calm confidence, you earn respect. And when you say you'll do something, do it. That's where respect truly begins. Follow. Through is rare. Everyone talks. Few deliver. Be the one who does. And finally, treat people with quiet kindness, not the performative kind, the real kind. Because respect isn't built on fear. It's built on dignity. When people feel seen and valued by you, they choose to respect you. So here's the formula. Simple and powerful, calm presence, clear words, consistent actions, quiet strength. That's what makes people respect you, not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. Command respect through calm presence, not loud power. Most people think that to earn respect, they have to be the loudest voice in the room, the one who dominates every conversation, interrupts others, and always has the final word. But that's not power. That's noise. And noise never builds respect. It only demands attention. The kind of respect that truly matters doesn't come from intimidation or volume. It comes from the energy you bring, the quiet confidence that tells people you don't need to prove anything. You already know who you are. Calm presence is magnetic. When you enter a room and your energy is steady, grounded, and controlled, people feel it immediately. They may not even understand why, but they sense that you're someone they can trust, someone who doesn't lose themselves in chaos. This type of presence doesn't shout, it doesn't compete, and it doesn't seek validation. It simply exists with certainty. And in that stillness, people find strength. The loudest person often appears insecure, while the calm one radiates control. Think about it. When a storm hits, people look for the one who remains composed. That's leadership, that's power, and that's what earns respect faster than any title, status, or speech ever could. People don't respect those who chase attention. They respect those who command it without effort. Calm presence isn't about being silent. It's about being intentional. Every movement, every word, every reaction, measured, deliberate, and confident. When you speak, speak with clarity. Use fewer words, but make them count. Let pauses work for you. Let silence remind others that you are comfortable in your own skin. The ability to sit in silence without rushing to fill the space shows emotional maturity and control. Two traits that people deeply respect. To develop calm presence, you must master yourself first. The greatest challenge isn't controlling others, it's controlling your emotions. People will test you, they'll provoke you, they'll question you, but how you respond defines how they see you. If you let anger, frustration, or insecurity drive your behavior, you hand them your power. But if you remain calm, if you breathe and respond instead of reacting, you instantly elevate yourself. People might not agree with you, but they will respect the discipline it takes to stay composed under pressure. Power that is loud fades quickly. It burns bright but dies fast because it relies on fear. Calm power, on the other hand, lasts. It's the quiet confidence that doesn't need validation because it comes from self-assurance, from knowing that your value isn't determined by anyone else's opinion. When you embody that, people feel it, they trust it, and they respect it. True calmness is not the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. It's the ability to stand tall when everything around you feels unstable. It's staying rooted when others are shaken. It's looking someone in the eye, not to challenge them, but to connect from a place of certainty. This type of calm presence isn't cold or distant. It's warm but firm, kind but strong. It's what makes people listen when you speak, not because they have to, but because they want to. People often underestimate the quiet ones until they realize they're the ones steering everything. Calm individuals observe before they act. They analyze before they respond. And when they finally speak, their words carry weight. Why? Because they don't waste them. The fewer words you use, the more valuable they become. Every sentence lands with intention. Every pause commands attention. You can practice this daily. The next time someone interrupts you, don't rush to talk over them. Wait, hold your space. When they finish, respond calmly. You'll notice something. The room will shift. The energy changes because calmness disrupts chaos. It forces others to slow down and meet you at your level. That's control. That's respect. In stressful situations, remind yourself that emotional stability is power. People respect those who can maintain clarity in moments of tension. When others lose their cool and you don't, it sends a message. You are not easily shaken. You are grounded, and grounded people are trusted with leadership, with responsibility, with influence. It's easy to raise your voice. It takes strength to lower it. It's easy to react in anger. It takes wisdom to respond with composure. Calm presence requires emotional discipline, and discipline is something people admire because it's rare. The world is full of noise, everyone trying to prove themselves, trying to be seen. But calm people, they stand out because they're not chasing anything. They already are something. That's why calm presence earns immediate respect. It's not about what you say, it's about what you project. When you walk into a room and your energy says, I'm here and I'm enough, people subconsciously align to that. They treat you differently. They speak differently because calmness commands authority without aggression. It's powerful, but it never has to prove its power. If you want to be respected instantly, don't focus on being liked. Don't chase approval. Focus on being grounded. Focus on being consistent. The more centered you are, the more people will look to you for stability. They'll want to follow your lead because calm presence makes people feel safe, and safety breeds trust, and trust breeds respect. When you choose calm over chaos, people see you as someone who cannot be manipulated easily. You become unpredictable in the best way. No one can shake your foundation. And in that unpredictability, there is control. People who can't control their emotions are easily controlled by others. People who master calm control everything around them quietly. You can't fake calmness. It's something that must be built from within through self-awareness, patience, and strength. It's forged in the moments when you want to react, but choose not to, when you want to prove a point, but realize you don't need to. Every time you choose restraint over reaction, you build respect. Every time you hold your space without aggression, you teach people how to treat you. That's how real respect works. It's not demanded, it's earned through quiet strength and presence. Calmness is the loudest form of confidence there is, because when you don't need to shout, the world leans in to listen. Respond with composure, never react with emotion. Every moment of conflict, challenge, or disagreement tests who you are more than what you know. Anyone can stay calm when things go right, but when things go wrong, when people provoke you, when pressure builds and emotions flare, that's when your true strength is revealed. The difference between people who are respected and those who are dismissed often comes down to one skill: the ability to respond with composure instead of reacting with emotion. Reaction is instinct. It's immediate, raw, and often reckless. It's what happens when you let anger or ego take the wheel. Someone disrespects you, and your first urge is to fight back. Someone questions you, and you rush to defend yourself. Someone disagrees, and you raise your tone to prove your point. But every time you react emotionally, you give away your power. You hand control of your mood, your behavior, and your presence to someone else. You let them pull your strings. Composure, on the other hand, is intentional. It's a conscious choice to pause before responding. It's the discipline to let emotions pass through you without letting them rule you. Composure doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you've mastered the art of managing what you feel. That is strength. That is control. And that is what earns respect. When you respond with composure, people take you seriously. They realize you can't be easily provoked, manipulated, or thrown off balance. They see that you operate from a place of control, not chaos. You don't speak from emotion. You speak from awareness. You don't act to prove a point. You act because you understand the moment. That difference changes everything. Imagine two people in an argument. One is shouting, waving their hands, trying to dominate the conversation. The other is calm, steady, listening, waiting for the right moment to speak. Who do you think has the real power in that situation? It's not the loud one. It's the composed one. The one who doesn't need to raise their voice to be heard, because composure commands attention far more effectively than emotion ever can. Composure gives you time to think, and thinking is power. When you react, you're controlled by impulse. When you respond, you control the moment. That tiny pause between what happens and how you choose to handle it, that's where respect is built. Most people skip that pause because it takes practice to hold it. But once you master it, people begin to see you differently. You become someone who can handle pressure, make smart decisions, and maintain your integrity, even when it's hard. There will be moments when you're misunderstood, criticized, or even attacked unfairly. Your instinct will be to fight back, to explain, to correct. But when you rush to defend yourself, you often validate what was never true. Composure gives you perspective. It allows you to separate what deserves your energy from what doesn't. It teaches you that silence can be more powerful than argument, that walking away can be stronger than winning. People respect those who can stay calm under fire. It's not weakness, it's mastery, because staying composed in chaos requires immense control over the self, control over your words, your expressions, your tone, your presence. When you can regulate yourself while everyone else loses theirs, you become the center of gravity in the room. Everyone looks to you for stability. That's leadership. That's presence. Responding with composure doesn't mean being passive or emotionless. It means knowing when and how to express emotion. Anger, disappointment, frustration, they're all natural. But composure transforms them into strength instead of destruction. It allows you to communicate with clarity instead of confusion. When you speak from composure, your message lands. People hear you, not your emotions. The most respected individuals aren't those who avoid conflict. They're the ones who manage it with grace. They know that reaction feeds chaos, but composure restores order. They listen fully before responding. They speak with precision. They maintain control over their tone even when others lose theirs. And that consistency builds trust. People may disagree with them, but they can't dismiss them because control earns credibility. Composure also protects your reputation. One emotional outburst can undo months or even years of hard work. People remember how you made them feel more than what you said. If you respond with aggression or defensiveness, they remember that energy. But when you stay calm, measured, and respectful, even in disagreement, you leave an impression of strength and confidence. You become memorable for the right reasons. There's another kind of cow of power that composure gives you, the power of unpredictability. When people can't easily provoke you, they lose control over you. They can't anticipate your next move, and that unsettles them. They're forced to treat you differently. With caution, with respect, emotional people are easy to read and easy to manipulate. Composed people are steady, unreadable, and respected. Composure is built in moments of discomfort. You learn it when someone disrespects you and you choose not to retaliate. You build it when you're frustrated but decide to listen instead of lash out. You strengthen it every time you feel anger rise, but choose patience. It's a habit forged one decision at a time. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. And yes, there will be times when staying composed feels impossible. When you're hurt, when you're angry, when you're exhausted, that's when it matters most, because those moments reveal your character. Anyone can stay calm when life is easy, but when everything is falling apart and you still hold yourself with dignity, that's when you earn lasting respect. Composure gives you clarity. You can't think clearly when you're emotional. You can't see solutions when you're reacting. But when you take a breath, when you slow down and let emotion settle, you begin to see what others can't. You start to respond with intelligence, not impulse. That's how you make better choices. That's how you gain influence. You don't have to win every argument. You don't have to prove every point. Sometimes composure means letting others speak, letting their words hang in the air, and letting silence do the work for you. Silence is powerful because it forces people to confront themselves. They'll hear their own tone, their own insecurity, their own chaos, and they'll realize you never had to react to prove your strength. Composure is the mark of someone who knows their value. When you truly know your worth, you don't feel the need to fight for it. You don't seek validation through conflict. You respond calmly because you understand that your calmly doesn't come from proving yourself. It comes from controlling yourself. And the person who controls themselves controls the room. Earn respect by consistency. Say less, deliver more. People listen to what you say once, but they remember what you do repeatedly. The world is full of talkers. People who make promises, share plans, and set goals they never follow through on. Everyone can say the right words, but few can live them every day. Respect isn't built by impressive speeches or big claims. It's built through quiet, steady consistency. When your actions match your words, when you show up the same way, regardless of who's watching, people learn that they can rely on you. That reliability becomes the foundation of respect. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means dependability. It's about being the person who can be counted on to deliver even when it's inconvenient. The moment you decide that your word matters, that your actions reflect your integrity, everything changes. People start paying attention, not to what you say, but to how you live, because real credibility comes from evidence, not promises. When you say less and deliver more, you separate yourself from the crowd. Most people talk too much. They over-explain, overcommit, and overpromise to appear competent or confident. But when you constantly talk about what you're going to do You leave no room for action. Those who truly have power don't announce it. They demonstrate it. They don't seek validation through words because their results speak louder than anything they could ever say. Consistency builds silent authority. It's the quiet repetition of showing up, not once, not twice, but again and again. You say you'll be on time, and you are. You say you'll finish the job, and you do. You make a commitment, and you honor it. Over time, that consistency turns into a reputation. People start to believe in your word because you've proven it through your behavior. That kind of trust can't be bought or demanded. It's earned slowly and lost quickly, which is why it's so valuable. There's power in restraint. When you say less, you give your actions room to breathe. You create space for curiosity. People begin to watch, to wonder what you're working on, to take your silence as strength. The ones who speak the loudest often have the least to show. The ones who stay focused and quiet are usually the ones achieving the most. Respect grows naturally toward people who don't need attention to stay motivated. Consistency also builds confidence, not just in others, but within yourself. Every time you follow through, you reinforce trust in your own discipline. You begin to rely on yourself, and that self-trust changes how you move. You no longer need to convince anyone of your value because you live it daily. Confidence isn't about believing you can do something. It's about knowing you'll do what you said you would. There's a calm power in people who keep their word. They don't need to explain themselves. They don't need to prove anything. Their actions have already spoken. That's why consistent people often appear more confident and composed. They have nothing to defend because their results do the talking. They let others argue, compete, or seek recognition while they focus on the work itself. And that quiet discipline commands genuine respect. Inconsistency, on the other hand, destroys credibility. Every time you make a promise and break it, even a small one, you weaken how others perceive you. You teach them that your words can't be trusted. Over time, people stop listening. They stop expecting you to follow through because you've conditioned them not to. Respect erodes not through one big mistake, but through many small disappointments. That's why consistency is so powerful. It reverses that pattern. It builds reliability where others expect excuses. Being consistent doesn't mean never failing. It means showing up even after failure. It's about doing what you can with what you have every single day. It's about sticking to your standards even when no one is watching. Respect doesn't come from occasional greatness. It comes from constant effort. People respect those who grind quietly, who don't need applause to keep going. Consistency also requires discipline in what you don't say. You don't need to announce every idea, every plan, every move. The more you speak, the more chances you give others to doubt or distract you. When you act instead of talk, you keep control of your energy and direction. Words drain power, action multiplies it. Saying less allows you to focus on doing more, and doing more is where respect grows. It's easy to talk about your goals. It feels good, even satisfying. But that satisfaction tricks your brain into believing you've already accomplished something. You lose urgency. You lose drive. The people who achieve the most talk less because they understand this trap. They channel their energy into execution, not explanation. They let their results introduce them. Consistency is a reflection of self-respect. When you hold yourself accountable to your own standards, others begin to mirror that respect back to you. They see the effort you put in, the integrity you operate with, and the discipline you maintain. They realize that you're not driven by approval or praise, but by principle. And that principle earns admiration that no words ever could. People respect predictability in character. They want to know that who you are today will be the same tomorrow. not moody, not inconsistent, not easily influenced. Consistent people are stable, and stability is rare. It makes others feel safe, inspired, and confident in your presence. Whether in relationships, leadership, or work, reliability is one of the highest forms of respect you can give and receive. When you deliver more than expected, you exceed trust. When you speak less, you preserve mystery. When you stay consistent, you prove strength. This combination makes you stand out quietly. You don't have to demand attention. Attention naturally finds you because people notice the ones who keep moving when everyone else stops. They notice the ones who produce results while others only talk about potential. There's a rhythm to consistency, small actions done daily that compound into something powerful. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the unnoticed moments, waking up early when you don't feel like it, keeping promises when no one will know if you don't, finishing what you start because your word matters more than your comfort. Those moments define character. Over time, they build an image of someone who is solid, trustworthy, and worthy of respect. Respect isn't built in a single grand gesture. It's built brick by brick through repetition. It's built every time you choose discipline over distraction, action over excuses, focus over talk. The people who are most respected aren't perfect. They're consistent. They understand that progress is made through small, deliberate actions that compound over time. They let those actions speak, and that speech is louder than any words could ever be. Say less, deliver more. That's how people begin to trust your voice without needing reassurance. That's how your silence carries authority. That's how your presence commands respect, because in a world full of promises, the one who delivers quietly stands tallest.